You're listening to Crystal Clear English Podcast. Learn English the crystal clear way. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Do you ever find yourself maybe a little confused by certain phrases your boss or coworkers use, in meetings or emails?
Oh, definitely. Those moments where you hear something and think, wait, what does that actually mean here?
Exactly. Or maybe you just wish you could sound, well, more fluent and confident in office conversations.
Yeah.
Sound like a real pro.
Right. Like you really get the unspoken language of the workplace.
Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're doing a deep dive into that world of professional communication. The meetings, the emails, all of it. We're going to uncover some of those, let's say, essential phrases, the ones that are like your secret weapon for sounding sharp and really informed.
Yeah. And what's fascinating here is how these idioms, these phrases, they seem simple, but they can completely change the tone, the clarity of a conversation.
Yeah.
So, our mission today, if you will, is to break down 10 of the most common ones you'll probably hear every single day. Doesn't matter if you're the intern or the CEO.
Okay, great. And we'll get into not just the meaning, but why they matter for clear communication.
Precisely. Why they stick around, how they shape things.
Perfect. Oh, and quickly, in our last deep dive, we explored idioms used more in school and college life. Episode 2, if you missed it.
Ah, yes, that was a fun one. Lots of useful stuff there, too.
Definitely check it out if you haven't.
Yeah.
So where should we start today? Maybe with idioms about getting things going, action-oriented stuff.
Sounds good. Let's kick things off with get the ball rolling.
Okay, get the ball rolling. I hear this one a lot. What's the core idea here?
So when someone says get the ball rolling, they're basically saying, let's start this. Let's initiate the process or the task.
Right. It's that first step, moving from just planning into actually doing something.
Exactly. Think of it like pushing a big rock to get it started down a hill. Once it's moving, it builds momentum. This phrase is often that first push.
Okay, so it overcomes that feeling of inertia maybe, when everyone's just talking about doing something.
Precisely. It's the transition from strategy to execution. Very action-oriented.
So you might hear, like, all right, team, enough planning. Let's get the ball rolling on the campaign draft today.
Yep. Or maybe someone telling their manager, don't worry, I already got the ball rolling on that report outline. It shows you're being proactive.
Makes sense. Now, related, but maybe a bit more intense, is hit the ground running.
Ah, yes. Good transition. Hit the ground running is definitely related, but it implies starting with like full energy and effectiveness immediately, right from the get-go.
Day one stuff.
Mm.
You hear this constantly about new hires, right?
Yeah.
We need someone who can hit the ground running.
Very common. The expectation is they'll be productive almost instantly.
Is that always realistic, though? I mean, doesn't everyone need some time to get settled?
Well, that's the key point, isn't it? It's a double-edged sword sometimes. On one hand, it signals enthusiasm, competence, readiness. Someone hitting the ground running makes a great first impression.
Sure, shows initiative.
Right. But on the other hand, if the expectation is too high or there isn't enough support, it can imply a really steep, maybe unfair learning curve. It could lead to burnout.
So ideally, it means the person is prepared and the company has set them up to succeed quickly.
Exactly. It's a balance. You want readiness, but also a supportive environment.
Gotcha. So an example might be our new marketing lead really hit the ground running. She launched 2 campaigns in her first week.
Yeah, that's a classic positive use. Or for a project, this deadline is tight, folks. We need to hit the ground running tomorrow morning.
Okay. So we've started the ball rolling. We've hit the ground running.
Right.
But what happens if, the plan just doesn't work out?
Well, that brings us neatly back to the drawing board.
Right. The phrase every creative person probably dreads, but also knows really well. It means starting over, pretty much.
Essentially, yes. Starting over from scratch. Because the first attempt, well, it failed or got rejected.
Sounds negative, but you mentioned framing it positively earlier.
Yes, exactly. It's crucial to see it not just as failure, but as a necessary reset. An acknowledgement that, okay, this approach didn't work, so we need a new strategy.
So it's about resilience.
Yeah.
Learning from mistakes.
Absolutely. It's about organizational resilience, the ability to pivot, to adapt, which is, let's face it, vital in any fast-moving workplace today. It actually champions agility.
That's a much better way to look at it. So you might hear designers say, maybe a bit glumly, client hated the mock-ups. Looks like we're back to the drawing board.
Or a team after a failed product launch. Okay, that strategy missed the mark. We need to go back to the drawing board and rethink our core value proposition.
Okay. Now, When you are back at that drawing board, trying to come up with something new, that's often when you hear, think outside the box.
A classic brainstorming phrase, yes.
It obviously means be creative, find unusual solutions. But what does it really take for that to happen effectively in a team?
That's a great question, because just saying think outside the box isn't enough.
Right.
What's fascinating here, the deeper thing, is that it really requires leaders to foster psychological safety, an environment where people feel safe to actually suggest weird ideas.
Ah, so it's not just about individual creativity, but the team culture.
Precisely. You need a space where unconventional thoughts aren't shot down immediately, where experimenting and maybe failing is seen as learning, where different perspectives are truly welcomed.
That makes so much sense. You can't just command innovation.
No, you have to create the conditions for it. It's about pushing beyond the usual boundaries, yes, but within a supportive structure.
So a manager might say, look, the standard solutions aren't working. We really need to think outside the box on this one.
Exactly. And then, crucially, they need to listen openly to the ideas that follow.
And if someone does come up with something brilliant and unexpected, you'd say, wow, Sarah, that's fantastic. You really thought outside the box there.
It's high praise for ingenuity.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. We've talked about starting things, rethinking things. What about just keeping things moving day to day? Communication is key there. Let's unpack touch base.
Right. Touch base. Sounds simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, like a quick check-in.
And that's basically it. A quick contact, usually informal, brief, just getting an update, sharing a small bit of info.
So what's the nuance? Why this phrase?
Well, the key is its efficiency. In busy teams, you can't always have long meetings for every little thing. Touching base allows for quick alignment without that formality.
Keeps the wheels turning without bogging people down.
Exactly. But there's a potential pitfall.
Oh.
Sometimes people use it too much, maybe to avoid a necessary, deeper conversation. Or if it's constant and without clear purpose, it can feel like micromanagement.
Ah, okay. So use it wisely.
Yeah.
For quick updates, not dodging big issues.
Precisely. Find the right balance. It maintains those informal lines of communication.
So you might hear, hey, let's touch base tomorrow before the presentation, just quickly.
Yep. Or I'll touch base with the client after lunch with a quick summary. Perfect uses.
Enjoying the episode? Follow and subscribe for more crystal clear English lessons every week by Crystal Clear English Podcast.
We really appreciate your support.
Okay, building on that communication theme, maybe the most important one for teamwork is on the same page.
Oh, absolutely critical. This one's huge.
It means everyone agrees or has the same understanding, right?
Yes, shared understanding of goals, plans, facts, whatever it is. When a team is truly on the same page, things run smoothly. Less confusion, less wasted effort.
But how do you know you're actually on the same page? People nod along in meetings all the time, but are they really absorbing it the same way?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Assumptions are dangerous here.
Definitely.
The key is active confirmation. Don't just assume nods mean agreement. Get people to restate their understanding in their own words.
Like summarizing back.
Exactly. A leader could say, okay, just so we're all clear, the goal is X, my part is Y, your part is Z. Does that match everyone's understanding? That forces people to actually engage and confirm.
That's a really practical tip.
Mm-hmm.
Catches misunderstandings early.
Mm-hmm. Saves a lot of trouble down the line.
So before starting something complex, you might say, let's have a quick huddle to make sure we're all on the same page about the deliverables.
Perfect. Or just at the start of a discussion, before we dive in, are we all on the same page about the background here?
Simple but powerful. Okay, another communication one. In the loop. Also about information, but maybe slightly different.
Yeah, there's a subtle difference. In the loop means being kept informed, having the necessary updates. But there's often an implied layer of trust or empowerment.
How so?
Well, think about it. When someone deliberately keeps you in the loop, they're not just sharing data. They're often signaling that your input matters or that you need this info to do your job effectively. They're investing in you.
Ah, so being left out of the loop feels like being sidelined.
Exactly. It can lead to people working in the dark, maybe duplicating effort, making mistakes because they missed key context. Being in the loop is about transparency and enabling contribution.
Reduces that shadow work you sometimes see.
Precisely. It shows who's considered relevant or essential to a particular conversation or project.
Got it. So you might need to ask, can you please keep me in the loop on the budget discussions?
Yes, if it directly impacts your work. Or you might have a quick exchange like, hey, are you in the loop on the new client strategy?
And the reply could be, oh yeah, attended all the planning sessions, totally in the loop.
Shows confidence and involvement.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit now. How about idioms related to decisions, rules, authority, like up in the air?
Right. Up in the air. This one's all about uncertainty.
And something's undecided, right?
Yeah.
Not confirmed.
Exactly. Plans, decisions, outcomes, they're uncertain, not finalized. Things could still go in different directions.
Is that different from something being, say, on hold?
Yes, that's a really important distinction, actually. On hold usually implies a deliberate pause, like we've intentionally stopped this for now, but we plan to resume later, maybe when something else happens.
Okay, so on hold has intention behind the pause.
Generally, yes, whereas up in the air suggests genuine uncertainty about the path forward. The decision itself hasn't been made, or key factors are still unknown. We don't know which way it will go, or even if it will go forward.
That clarifies things. Helps manage expectations, I guess.
Absolutely. Prevents people assuming a decision has been made when it hasn't.
So in an office, you might hear, the approval for the new software is still up in the air, so don't install anything yet.
Perfect example. Or are we meeting Friday? Well, the manager hasn't confirmed, so it's kind of up in the air right now.
Got it. Okay, number 9. This one feels different again. By the book.
Ah, yes. Rules and procedures.
Means doing things strictly according to the rules, right? No cutting corners.
Precisely. Following the official procedures, regulations, guidelines to the letter.
Now, earlier we praised thinking outside the box. Isn't there a tension here? Doing things by the book versus being creative.
Absolutely. That's a core tension in almost any organization, and you need both.
Really? How so?
Well, thinking outside the box drives innovation, finds new solutions. But by the book ensures consistency, compliance, safety, quality control. Think about finance or legal departments or safety protocols. You need people to follow the procedures strictly there.
Okay, yeah. Can't really think outside the box with safety regulations.
Exactly. The consequences could be serious. So the real skill for both individuals and the organization is knowing when each approach is appropriate, when to stick strictly to the rules, and when there's room for, let's say, creative but still compliant solutions.
Principled flexibility, perhaps.
Ooh, I like that. Principled flexibility, yes. Knowing the rules so well, you know when and how they can be bent versus when they absolutely cannot.
So you might describe someone as, she's great in her compliance role. She does everything by the book.
Yep, meaning she's reliable and follows protocol meticulously. Or a manager might insist, we have to handle this investigation strictly by the book, meaning no deviations from the official process.
Makes sense. All right, our final idiom for today. This one's about power. Call the shots.
Yes, the decision maker.
So it refers to the person who has the final say, the authority.
Exactly. The person, or maybe group, who makes the key decisions and directs what happens.
Why is understanding this so important in a workplace?
Well, clarity, mostly. Knowing who calls the shots clarifies the hierarchy, accountability, it streamlines decision-making. If everyone knows who has the final authority, things don't get stuck in endless debates or loops of seeking approval.
Cuts through ambiguity.
Precisely. It tells you where the buck stops, essentially. Who has the ultimate responsibility and power for a particular area or decision. It helps you navigate the organization.
Okay, so you might say simply, well, she's the department head. She calls the shots on budget allocation.
Yep. Or in a meeting, trying to get clarity, someone might ask, okay, but who's calling the shots on the final design approval? We need to know who to go to.
Got it. That clears up who has the final authority.
Exactly.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot of ground there. 10 really common, really useful phrases.
Yeah, they pop up everywhere once you start listening for them.
So just to recap for everyone listening, what does this all mean for you? Well, getting comfortable with these common office idioms, it's really about boosting your confidence, right? And your impact at work. You're not just learning words, you're kind of decoding the culture, understanding the shortcuts and the nuances that make communication flow better.
Absolutely. It shows you're tuned in, you understand how things really work and how people communicate effectively in that professional space.
And if you found these workplace idioms helpful, maybe go back and listen to episode 2, Speak Like a Student, where we looked at similar phrases but from school and college life. It's interesting to compare. So don't miss that. Thank you so much for listening to the Crystal Clear English podcast.
Learning another language is like becoming another person.